Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining another series of House in the Cars Home Ownership Changed My Life. I am your host, Stephanie Milburn. I am the campaign manager for House in the Car. And today we have a special guest, and she is actually very special, near and dear to my heart. She is one of my clients, and she has become my sister. So I would like to introduce our guest for today, Miss Brittany Walden.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today, Brittany. And if you can tell us, what is your age and what city and state are you from?
I am 30. I just turned 30 last October. I am from Houston, Texas, born and raised, and currently where I have my home.
Awesome, awesome. So, of course, this series is called Homeownership Changed My Life. So, we will just go ahead and dive right into it. I know you purchased your house recently, and that was a journey in itself. So, before we even get to the how this home ownership has changed your life, let's talk a little bit about your journey, because I know there was some good times, some bad times. You were frustrated, but and that's one of the things that actually brought us closer. And I do appreciate just you trusting me through the process, and we have developed a friendship, and I love you, and I'm so glad that you are one of my clients and friends. And this is one of the reasons why I actually love what I do. So just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, my journey started out, it started out normally, at least what I thought. I went through the whole process with entrusting a realtor that I was familiar with, and I was handed over to you to take care of me, and you've done an excellent job at that. We went through the journey, found a lender, programs, and everything of that sort. Um, Found quite a few houses, and literally every house that we went to, I was either outbid or it wasn't actually on the market as advertised. And that was kind of frustrating, but we didn't give up. I think at one point we were seeing maybe about 10 houses a week. And then we finally found a house that was still under construction, but I liked it. I liked the neighborhood it was in. I liked the fact that the seller was actually willing to work with me as far as the price was concerned. So that made me really happy. And then things started to turn. So we were waiting months for a city inspection, which should have gotten taken care of a long time ago, and it didn't, and we kind of wondered why, but that's neither here nor there. But we got to the point to where the house was complete, or at least able to close on. Went to closing on a Saturday, and the sellers rather didn't show up. We waited for a couple of days and heard nothing from them, and that's kind of where that ended. I received a notice maybe a few days after that the sellers were backing out, and I couldn't have been more hurt. Because
So I know
thought
at that point you were just like, I'm over this.
everybody's fired. I'm starting all over again. But yeah, it happened. And again, this was after months and months of searching. Like I said, 10 plus houses a week. And it was very frustrating. I was hurt beyond words. And I'm gonna just be frank, I was ready to fight. So that happened. They backed out of selling that house, and we were back to square one. And I remember specifically, I got that notice on a Thursday, had the meeting with you, and you promised me you were going to get me a house by your birthday. And you were going out of town that weekend. So you told me you're going to send me some houses. I'm going to be on my own this weekend looking at them, but let you know. I think you sent me maybe a total of 10. And from that list, I narrowed it down to 3, just off of zip code. I went to see those 3 houses. 2 of them were in a new development. Wasn't really sold on those. And then the other house became my home. And I remember specifically it was raining the day that I went to see the house, and it was absolutely beautiful. It checked every box that I had on the list. I gave you a long list of what I wanted in my house, and literally every box was checked. And I was really, really happy. It was within my price range. And after that situation with the first house happened, this house and the closing of this house moved very fast. I think in a matter of 2 weeks, 2, maybe 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
It was very fast. And that's how I kind of knew that that was my house, because everything came together. And when you came back from out of town and you were able to come see it, you were even like, I like this house. So I was like, okay.
I love your house. First of all, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit of something about her house. She's sitting on a lake, okay? She's sitting on a lake. So I just wanna, and how old were you when you closed? Were you 27 or 28?
27.
Okay.
I was 27.
How many 27-year-olds do you know that own a house sitting on a lake? So that is just something that is so amazing. And I just want everybody to understand that, you know, it can be done. You can do it. You can start early. You don't have to wait until you're in your 40s or 50s to be a homeowner. Brittany is 20. How old are you now?
I'm 30 now.
Oh, she's 30 now. She is 30
So,
now.
yeah, closed on the house in August, and then I turned 28 in October. So literally closed on the house right before my birthday.
Right. So just tell us, how has being a homeowner changed your life? I know that you recently told me that your mortgage payment went down, so those are some good things. I know that owning a home brings about a certain you know, stability. So just tell us how you feel about that.
That and I'm gonna try to get through this without getting choked up, but that's the main thing, is the stability. I've always had a stable home, but it was never a home. I grew up, you know, single parent household. I am number 4 of 5 children. We shared everything. And most of all, like, I shared everything. I have a little sister and an older sister. So I was smack dab in the middle of the hand-me-downs. I shared a room and even a bed for about 15 years. Like, everything I ever had growing up was shared. And I finally have something that's mine. And again, with the stability, you know, growing up, we used to hear all the time that, you know, Black people don't own anything.
Right.
And especially if you weren't married, you definitely didn't own anything because you couldn't afford to. So that allowed me, even though my mom wasn't able to give us a house growing up, it has allowed me to be able to give her a house now. You know, she doesn't live with me, but my house has become the focal point of the family gatherings. I don't mind it to a certain extent because everybody knows Brittany and they know that I like my space, and so they give it to me. But when it's time for us to be a family and come together, we're able to do that at my house. I like, you know, the fact that I don't have to share my space with anyone, and it's not about me being selfish. It's just, like I said, I've never had anything that was just mine.
Right, it's yours. It's your sanctuary. It's your happy
place. Yes. It definitely is that. It is definitely that. When I have a hard day, when life gets tough, family issues arise, whatever, I am able to retreat to where I pay that stupendous mortgage that just went down. So it has changed my life in a way to where I am able to focus on other things. I don't have to worry about, do I have to get this fixed? Do I have to call a landlord to get this fixed? Or, if I'm behind on my rent, what's going to happen? Yeah, you still have pretty much the same stipulations with the mortgage, but you have a little more freedom. You have a little more help. It's a little more balance. And so the stability of it all has really, really, really helped me cope with a lot of things and to kind of, dismiss a lot of things like when I was growing up. We didn't have family members that owned houses and things like that. So it's made me feel like I've arrived,
Awesome. You know what? I love it. I love it. And it sounds like your family has embraced your home. And what do you think? Do you feel like you're setting an example for some of the younger members of your family? Are they looking up to you and seeking advice and how they can own a home?
Honestly, I think that my family, ultimately my family is happy for me regardless. They're happy for me. They love coming to my house, but I think that more than anything, I have influenced my friends.
Okay.
I was the first of my inner circle to own a home. None of my friends own a home.
Okay. Did you give them my number?
Of course I have. I actually have a friend that she's considering purchasing next year, at the beginning of next year. And she has literally, when I say every day, has asked me a different question about homeownership every day. And I want to be a resource. I want to be a vessel. So of course I'm answering those questions, but at the same time, I'm like, listen, I can help you in the sense that I think I went through probably the most unorthodox home buying process.
You will be surprised, Brittany. Let me tell you, not one transaction has been the same. I've been doing this for over 7 years now, and everybody has a unique journey, and I love it. But yeah, you may think yours was like super unorthodox. It was kind of normal, but it's just a lot of yeah, let me tell you, people back out of deals all the time. Yours was a little bit different as far as the sellers relationship issues that they had going on, but every day somebody is going through something similar, so you trust me, you'll be surprised. But that's why we're here to guide you. That's why it's always best to have a professional realtor with you or realtors. You want to make sure that you have the knowledge and you're equipped with that knowledge going into it, especially as a first-time home buyer.
Absolutely. And I feel like at least I tried to do my due diligence before I, jumped into a situation. But, like you said, no two sales are the same. Like they're really not. No two situations are the same. Like
Right.
it really isn't. And I think I tried as best as I could to prepare myself for what I was getting into. But a lot of people only think, my credit and can I, continue to pay my mortgage? Like that's really what everybody thinks when they're purchasing a house. But it's so much more that goes into that. Like I wasn't prepared to, change out toilets in less than a year. And, I wasn't prepared to, I knew my neighborhood had an HOA, and I knew that it was, it wasn't as strict as a lot of other HOAs, but I had no idea that, everything, surrounding my house, even what the HOA has under restriction, I had no idea that all of that was my responsibility as well. You think you have a HOA, oh, okay, they're going to cut my grass, they're going to make sure that my fences are good and no.
That's
make
on
sure
you.
Pay those fees, but
Right. So I know a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with their HOA, but in most cases they are necessary. So that is something that when you're going into a subdivision neighborhood, then you have to be a part of the HOA. And so it can be a great thing, it can be something annoying, but it's, you know, one of those necessary evils that we all have to, or most of us, because not every house has to pay a homeowners association, but for those that do, we understand the pros, and you know, we try to make sure that those outweigh the cons.
Outweigh the cons. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it is what it could be worse. I've, you know, compared with, you know, coworkers and things like that, people in my inner circle that actually, you know, have a home or had a home. I've tried to, you know, kind of compare those pros and cons. And the funny thing is, like, people always say, man, you're winning. Your HOA fees are, you know, way less than mine. You got a lakefront house and your neighbors are nice and you don't have dogs barking on you. You got it good. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. So, you know, and that just goes along with no two situations are the same. So, you know, I thank you for joining us today on Home Ownership Changed My Life. I know we keep in contact all the time, so I know how, you know, these things have, you know, shaped you. I know that you're about to graduate from your program, and you know, so it's just a lot of different things that I see, you know, from the time that we started this process, that you have grown immensely. And you know, I just love this whole journey that you're on, and I hope that, you know, your friends follow behind you. And give them my number, I can get your friend in the house. So you know, we just thank you again for joining Home Ownership Changed My Life. And you know, we thank you, and we appreciate your journey.
Well, thank you very much for all the work that you did, all those long hours putting up with me, because, child, I was amazed. I was stressed out. And I know
I had to have a come to Jesus moment with this girl.
We had a couple of those.
Yes, we had quite a few. But that just goes to show you that, you know, trust in the professional that you're working with, trust in, you know, not, you know, everybody not, you know, don't like to say this, but trust in God. Trust in God, trust in God's timing. And you know, so that first house was not the house for you, but the house that you're in, I know that that's more than a house. It is your home, and I can tell that you love it. When I came to visit, you know, I could just tell that you absolutely love the house that you're in.
I do, and I'm really happy that we came, you know, to that resolve. Like, I'm really glad that what happened, you know, took place, because that house didn't even pop up. I think that house had only been on the market like a couple days, and
you know,
it
when
was
I saw it, I was like, ooh, I gotta get it to Brittany. I gotta get it to Brittany.
Up now. Yeah, so I'm really happy. I'm really grateful to you. I tell you that all the time. I send people your way all the time. I tag you in more posts than I could probably think of, but I am really, really grateful to you, Stephanie. I love you immensely, and you know that. And I'm really kind of happy that I was, you know, pawned off. No shade, but I was kind of pawned off on you, and I'm kind of glad that happened, because, you know, you were able to fulfill all the needs that I had, and I couldn't have asked for a better experience, a better realtor, a better friend, a better sister. You have literally changed my life. You've been a very intricate detail in my life, and I am so grateful to you. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, you are so welcome, Brittany, and I wish you good luck in all of your endeavors. I know that you just started a new job recently as well, so good luck with everything. And you know, I'm always
a bear.
I'm always in your corner, and I look forward to working with you in the future, with your family, your friends, and anything else. I love you, and thank you for joining us today, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.